With the biggest collection of geothermal features, over 290 waterfalls, over 1,000 miles of hiking trails, rivers, lakes and wildlife, there are plenty of things to do in the Yellowstone National Park. In this video we will show top attractions in Yellowstone National Park with some interesting facts and some tips. We also will show you the map with all the main attractions. So if that's your first visit to this park, this video is for you. Before we start with attractions, we need to say that Yellowstone's map covers over 2.2 million acres with over 200 miles of drivable roads. Yellowstone's main road is called Grand Loop, is set up like a figure 8, typically broken into two major parts, the upper loop 70 miles long and the lower loop 96 miles long. It allows visitors to pick attractions in the upper or lower loop and visit all or some in one day. It takes around 4 hours to drive the whole loop without traffic. Just to get to the loop from one of the 5 surrounding entrance roads can take an hour. The first attraction in our list is Grand Prismatic Spring. It is the largest hot spring in the United States and third largest hot spring in the world. It is located in the Midway Geyser Basin and it's one of the most popular attractions in the Yellowstone National Park, so expect the parking to be very busy if you visit in the middle of the day during summer. It is approximately 370 feet in diameter and 160 feet deep. The spring's temperature is 160 degrees Fahrenheit, thus the spring is often cloaked in steam. The hot spring pours almost 500 gallons of hot water per minute into the Firehole River. Prismatic means brilliantly colored. The blue color of the water is due to sunlight being scattered by fine particles suspended in the water. The other colors like yellow, orange and brown are caused by thermophiles, heat-loving microorganisms. They contain colorful pigments that allow them to make energy from sunlight and thrive in the harsh conditions of hot springs. The best time to see the colors of the Grand Prismatic Spring is in the middle of a clear, sunny summer day. In the morning it's less crowded, but it can be covered with steam and colors won't be so bright. The best way to appreciate how big, unique and colorful the Grand Prismatic is to see it from above, but the National Park Service does not allow drones in the park. Fortunately there is a way to see it from above. There is a Grand Prismatic Overlook Trail that gradually climbs 105 feet over 0.6 miles from the Fairy Falls Trailhead to Grand Prismatic Viewing Platform looking down on Grand Prismatic Spring. The hike begins 1 mile south of Midway Geyser Basin and it's well worth the hike. The trail was opened in 2018 and it's part of Bear Management Area, which means it is closed March 10th through the Friday of Memorial Day weekend. Another Yellowstone's must-see attraction is watching the Old Faithful eruption. Old Faithful is pretty spectacular and definitely worth visiting. Old Faithful Geyser erupt roughly every hour and a half. The eruption typically lasts 3 to 4 minutes. You can get prediction times in the Old Faithful Visitor Center if it's open. Old Faithful is the most famous, but it's one of nearly 500 geysers in the park and one of 6 that park rangers currently predict. It is located in the Upper Geyser Basin, which has the largest number of geothermal features found in the park. Within 1 square mile, there are over 150 geothermal features, while Yellowstone is home to almost 60% of the world's geysers. It takes time to see all of them in this basin. If you decide to hike and see them all, you will find geysers like Castle Geyser, which erupts every 10 to 12 hours and lasts about 20 minutes, and Morning Glory Pool, one of the prettiest hot springs in the Upper Geyser Basin, and other cool geothermal features. Old Faithful Geyser and Grand Prismatic Hot Spring might be Yellowstone National Park's most famous features, but there is another attraction not to be missed in the park. Breathtaking 1,000-foot deep colorful Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, which is a natural work of art with its multicolored rock walls and waterfalls. The canyon is 20 miles long and the walls reach 1,200 feet tall at some points. The canyon is located in the northern part of the park and is accessible by car via the North Rim Drive, South Rim Drive, and brink of the Upper Falls Drive. North Rim Drive begins 1.2 miles south of Canyon Junction. This one-way road takes you to 4 accessible views of the canyon, each of which features a different aspect of the canyon. South Rim Drive begins 2.3 miles south of Canyon Junction and leads you to views of Upper Falls at Upper Falls viewpoints and of Lower Falls and the canyon at Artist Point. There are several trails and 10 viewpoints located along the canyon rims. We would definitely recommend exploring the various sites and overlooks along the rims of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone River. There are a total of 3 waterfalls in this area: Lower, Upper and Crystal Falls. At 308 feet, the Lower Falls is the tallest waterfall in Yellowstone. In terms of height, it's nearly twice as high as Niagara Falls. The Upper Falls of the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone is significantly smaller at 109 feet, it's a very impressive waterfall. The geothermal Mammoth Hot Springs located in the northwest part of Yellowstone don't look like any other hot springs anywhere else in the park. Here visitors can enjoy views of unique travertine limestone terraces, formed when hot water ascends through ancient limestone deposits. The colors range from a pristine white to pink to dark red. The hot water dissolves the limestone into calcium carbonate, which then re-solidifies into new shapes, formed by water. The Mammoth Hot Springs area is pretty big, so be sure to explore different parts of it. There is parking for the lower terrace along the roadside and it's just a short walk to the terraces themselves. There are boardwalk paths that run from the parking lot and go the entire length of the lower and upper terrace. The whole boardwalk is 1.75 miles. You can also drive the Upper Loop Road and see some of the features from there. Another very popular thing to do in the park is see wildlife. There are 2 main places where you will see wildlife: centrally located Hayden Valley and Lamar Valley located in the northeast section of the park. The best time to look for wildlife in Yellowstone is early in the morning and at dawn. Grizzly bears may be seen in the spring and early summer preying upon newborn bison and elk calves. Bison are often seen in the spring all the way through the fall rut. To see bison blocking traffic on the road is also called bison jam, and it is fairly common inside Yellowstone National Park, and can leave tourists stranded for 30 minutes or longer. Yellowstone's hottest geyser basin is Norris. It consists of 2 areas, Porcelain Basin and Back Basin. The highest temperature yet recorded in any geothermal area in Yellowstone was at Norris, 459 degrees Fahrenheit measured in a scientific drill hole. Here you can find the world's tallest geyser. During a major eruption, the Steamboat Geyser can shoot water to more than 300 feet and it can last 3 to more than 60 minutes. When we arrived at the parking lot, we saw the warning signs that minerals from this geyser can damage a car's glass and paint, even though geyser is pretty far from parking. However, this geyser is very unpredictable with major eruption intervals ranging from 3 days to 50 years. Many geyser gazing experts feel Norris Geyser Basin is the most exciting and unpredictable of the various basins in Yellowstone. There is a Norris Geyser Basin Museum located on the way to the geysers where you can learn more about this basin and its history. West Thumb Geyser Basin located in the south part of the park on the shores of Yellowstone Lake. While it doesn't have any active geysers, this area is beautiful and worth a visit. It is a great place to view Yellowstone Lake as well as thermal features. It's home to the deepest pool in Yellowstone called Abyss Pool, which is 53 feet deep. This pool is very colorful with clear water. There are some features that are located right on the shores of the lake. Upper and lower waterfalls located in the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone are not the only waterfalls in the park. In fact, there are also over 290 waterfalls in Yellowstone. We will tell you about a few that we visited with easy access. Gibbon Falls is located just off in the northwestern part of the park. It is an easy drive from the west entrance to the park. Another waterfall with access from the road is Lewis Falls, and it's located on the Lewis River in the southern part of the park and drops 30 feet.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.